Hi, I'm Kamal Chilaka, a photographer, writer, and content creator based out of Chennai, India. I travel the world capturing the beauty of both the natural and man-made worlds and bring them back to you in the form of large format prints and coffee table books, and my blog kamalchilaka.photography. I make videos about the art of photography and photography gear. So today I want to talk to you about a very special lens that I own, and I've owned this lens for last 6 years. This is the Zeiss Otus 55mm f1.4. I bought this lens back in 2014, pretty soon after it was released, and I got a chance to test it at that time. And I was just blown away by the image quality and the look, more importantly, the look that this lens produces. Even on my Canon cameras, the Canon 5D Mark IV and the 5D SR. But I've always felt that it has more untapped potential, that pairing it with the right camera body, high resolution, modern mirrorless camera body would be able to bring out the best of the lens. So before I get into that, I want to talk to you a little bit about the lens itself. The lens weighs just over 1 kilogram, so it's a heavy lens. It's an all metal construction. Even the lens hood is made up of metal, and when it's fixed on the lens, it gives it a solid unibody feel and really protects the lens from front element of the lens. So I never used a filter of any sort unless I'm looking at specifically using an ND filter or polarizer for my photography requirements. So I don't usually carry this around with the UV filter on it. It has a 77 mm filter thread diameter, so it's a fairly standard size. So it's not surprisingly for such a wide open aperture lens for the maximum aperture f1.4. It's about 5.5 inches long, but it's heavy. So the size itself is not an issue, but the lens is heavy, so you got to keep. So it balances fairly well on my 5D Mark IV and the 5D SR. But when you're going to adapt this on a mirrorless body, it will most probably be a little front heavy because of the weight. The lens has an elegant design, and it has bright yellow lettering stating its maximum aperture, and also the distance scale is well marked in bright fluorescent yellow, so it makes it easy to read. Surprisingly, they've not included weather sealing. There's no weather sealing gasket at the back of the lens, but I've used this lens for years now, and even in light rain, and never had any problems with it, even in dusty conditions or in light rain. Never had any dust entering this lens or water entering the lens. It's an epichromatic design, and according to Zeiss, that helps the epichromatic elements in this lens actually help reduce chromatic aberrations to a large extent, and they're very well controlled. I totally agree, except maybe when shooting f1.4 and thereabouts, you hardly see, and it's very clean. The image that comes out is very clean and free of chromatic aberrations. And this is one of my most prized photographic tools. I've owned this lens since 2014, about 6 years now. I've traveled over the last few years, several continents and several countries. I've never traveled anywhere without this lens for a serious shoot. It's that good. The image quality and the look that it gives are really special. There are some technical reviews of this lens on YouTube. You should check them out. The ones by Christopher Frost and Dustin Abbott really captures the technical abilities of this lens. So do check them out. This is not going to be a technical review. I want to talk specifically about this lens and specifically how well it works along with when adapted to the L-mount Leica SL2. That's what this video is about. The lenses themselves are finally, they're priced around $4,000, and I think the 85mm 100mm lens, which came out more recently, is priced at $5,000. So they're pretty expensive lenses. So it's a serious commitment. It's a manual focus only lens, manual focus f1.4 lens. So it does bring some challenges. So unless you know what you're doing, this is not a lens for you. I knew exactly what I was getting into while buying this lens, because I had a chance to test this lens before buying it, and I was just blown away by the sharpness, the resolution and all that, but more importantly, the medium format look that it gave to the images, both landscape images as well as portrait work. And wide open, it has some amount of vignetting, but I think of that vignetting as more of a feature than issue, and that can be easily corrected in Lightroom. When you're shooting portraits wide open, it's nice to have that vignetting, and reduces some of the work that you have to do in post-processing. And the sharpness peak sharpness is somewhere around f5.6, but even at wide open and even all the way except maybe f16 to which it can stop down, the lens is pretty sharp from center to corner. So I've never had any problems with sharpness. Only thing is, so sharp sometimes it can bring out a lot of detail which you may not want in your images, especially when doing portraiture. So your camera sensor should be able to be up to the job, because this can really out-resolve a lot of the sensors. But I'm just really looking forward to shooting with the Leica SL2 with this lens adapted with the MC821 adapter on my Leica SL2, and I will share those images with you. But before that, let me share some images that I've shot this lens and my Canon cameras over the years, so that will give you an idea of quality of the images that come out of this lens. And this lens is actually one of the reasons I've been motivated to move to a high resolution modern mirrorless camera with all the focusing aids such as focus peaking and magnification assist while focusing, because when you're shooting with this lens, especially wide open around f1.41, f1.6, it can be really challenging and to shoot and get nail focus, especially when you're using a traditional DSLR, and especially if you have less than perfect eyesight, it gets really challenging, and even in low light, because in low light what happens is sometimes you just cannot get the focus registration because of the beep on the camera, so you don't know whether you're in focus or not. So that way, pairing this with mirrorless camera, which can give you a zoom assistance and focus peaking, shows areas of focus, would really help in nailing focus with this lens. And the other thing why I wanted to use this along with my Leica SL2 was this lens already produces a fantastic medium format look, and the Leica SL2 sensor with its more realistic color science, I think the combination is going to produce some great images. I'm going to go and shoot with this lens and the camera, and then come back to you and share those images with you. And you can decide for yourself what you think of the combination of the Zeiss Otus along with the Leica SL2. And later on, I'm also going to be shooting with the Panasonic S Pro 50 f1.4. When Panasonic designed the 50mm S Pro f1.4, I was told this was a lens they benchmarked for the image quality and sharpness and resolution when they designed that lens, even though that's an autofocus lens. And I think they've done a great job, because that lens actually weighs less than this lens, because it's not all metal construction. Actually, that's a topic for another video. I will be doing a comparison test later on with comparing the Zeiss 55 f1.4 with the Panasonic 50mm f1.4 S Pro lens, and that'll be an upcoming video. And before we get on with the rest of the video, I want to bring your attention to a giveaway that I'm doing from this month all the way till the end of the year. I'm giving away a copy of my coffee table book, -29°C, which is a collection of images from Lapland in winter. So this book is going to be launched soon, so it'll be available on Amazon, Flipkart and other online sites, and also a few bookstores in a few months time. But doing this giveaway is like a preview. I'm giving away one book to a lucky subscriber of my YouTube channel or my newsletter. So all you need to do is subscribe to my channel and send me a message that you've subscribed with your contact details, and I'll be choosing one lucky winner every month, right from now all the way till December, and I'll be shipping this book to you to any location that is serviced by the Indian Postal Service, and I think they cover most places. So all you need to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel or go to my website, which is in the description box below and subscribe to my newsletter. And send me a message that you're interested in this book. So I'll be choosing one lucky winner at the end of each month, and this book will be shipped to you. So I've been shooting with this lens and the Leica SL2 for some time. Still pretty much on with the COVID restrictions are still on where I live. I've just been able to shoot in locations near and around my house. Luckily, I live by the beach, and so I've been shooting at the beach and at the nearby backwaters, and also been shooting a few portraits of friends with this lens and camera combo. So I'm going to be sharing those images with you, and let me know what you think. So let me know what you thought of these images in the comments below. So I'll also add links below to downloads of the raw files shot with the Zeiss Otus and the Leica SL2. So if you are into pixel peeping or deciding whether this combination is for you, you can download them and have a closer look yourself. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting and useful. Do let me know what other topics you would like me to talk about related to the art of photography and photography gear. And if I can do that, I will definitely do that for you. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. See you in the next video. Cheers.